Hi, welcome to section 9.4, also called the percent equation. Now this one's going to be very similar to section 9.2 when we did the percent proportion, because it really is the percent proportion. It's just written instead of a proportion, it's written as an equation. And again, you're going to see the part, the base, and the percent in this equation, and you are going to get 2 out of 3 and need to solve or find for the third. First, some vocab. Our vocab, the only one in this, is the percent equation. So as I mentioned, it's an equivalent form of the percent proportion, and the difference really is the percent is written as a decimal, and we set it up as the equation is going to be part equals percent, which will be written as a decimal, times the whole, or also known as the base. Another way to write it, again, if we're using the is over the of, where the is the part and the of is the whole, is equals percent times of. Okay, we're going to find the part of a base. Again, this is almost identical to what we did in the steps or the 3 examples we did in section 9.2. First, we're going to find what number is 80% of 120. So first thing we want to do is set up the equation. And remember, our percent is going to be a decimal. Remember, when we change it to a decimal, we just move it, move it 2 to the left. So part equals 0.8, we could put 0.80, times 120. Again, the of tells me that 120 is my whole, the 80%, and I'm trying to find what number is, so I'm trying to find the number, the is part, or the part. So we set it up as 0.80 times 120. We multiply, and we find that 96 is 80% of 120. So that's how you find the part of a base. You just substitute in for the percent and the whole, multiply, and it gives you the part. Your turn. Remember, don't forget, change the percent to a decimal. Next, we're going to find a percent. So it says, what percent of 150 is 90? Again, the giveaway is it's telling us what percent. We don't know the percent, so that's going to be my variable. I don't know what I'm finding. The other 2 are going to be my part and whole. Again, I look at the of. Remember that this is, I know how much you guys like the prepositions and grammar, so the object of a preposition comes after the preposition. So my of is the 150, and my part, or my is 90. So we set it up as 90 equals x times 120. And in the second step, we solve for x. 120x equals 90. I have to get x alone, so I divide each side by 120, which simplifies down to x equals 9/12, or 3/4, and then I write it as a percent. If I don't know what the percent is, I could always use the percent proportion and put 3/4 equals p over 100 and solve to get my percent. In this case, we should know what 3/4 is, as it is 75%. So that's how you find a percent. Again, just substitute in the part and the base and solve to get x alone. Okay, your turn. Remember, you're trying to find the percent here. In all of these 4 questions, you'll see it doesn't give you what the percent is. So that will be your variable. Okay, next, we're going to find a base. Our example is the number 117 is 45% of what number? So we don't know what the of part is, so that's our variable. We have to make sure we use the 45%, change it to a decimal, so it's 0.45. And our part is 117. So we set up our equation. 117 equals 0.45 times x, and then we solve for x. On the next side, We divide each side by 45 or 0.45. We set up our division. 0.45 goes into 117. I have to move my decimal from the 0.45. I don't want to divide by a decimal, so I move it 2 to the right. So I add 2 zeros to the 117 to get 11,700. I divide, and we find that x equals 260. So the number 117 is 45% of 260. The key piece in this, hopefully, is you remember how to divide by decimals, and you remember to actually move your decimal over and add zeros if needed, which in most cases it will be, and then bring your decimal point up to the top. Okay, so that is how you find a base. Your turn. 130 is 65% of what number? In last, we're going to find a commission. Now, in finding this is very much like we're finding a part. It says a clerk sells an iPad cover for $60. The clerk receives a 9% commission on the sale. How much is the commission? For those who don't know, a commission is what you would earn as part of your, it's not a salary, but you earn it for each item you sell. So in this case, the clerk's going to receive some money because they sold the iPad cover, and they're going to receive 9% based on the total sale of the iPad, which is $60. So we're going to use our percent equation. We need to find the part. So what you're looking at is what number is 9% of 60. So we'll set up our equation. Part equals 0.09 times 60. We multiply and find that $5.40 is the commission that is earned on the sale of the iPad cover for $60. Okay. Now, I could easily have given you the commission part or the part. I could have given you the whole and had you find the percent or had you find the base. Just remember, they're going to give you 2 out of the 3. And in using a percent equation, we just have to make sure we fill in what parts we know. Okay, your turn. Emma sells a Bears jersey to Finn. I know, you're dying for one, aren't you, Finn? Good luck. That's it. Again, hopefully, if you remember, this is very similar to the percent proportion. It's just set up a little bit differently. And good luck.